70, not too bad. Yeah, yeah, it's pretty nice weather, but a cold wave is coming, and I think that's the last of the nice warmish days. It will be well beyond it next week. Birds are everywhere. Crows are here. Maybe we'll hear some parrots. There are hundreds of other birds around somewhere ahead. I didn't go shopping yet. After, in the evening, I'm going to go and buy. And we'll make a scope. Every noodle is different. I don't know, in Canada there was always like the same Sapporo Ichiban. I think there was a shrimp version. Yeah, the parrots. The parrots are sometimes flying, but they fly faster than the crows. Sometimes they bother the crows. And there was this Canadian chicken noodle soup that the whole color was fluorescent, almost with yellow. As long as you have rice. Yeah, I've got plenty of rice. Rice or potatoes. Yummy, yummy. Oh, much quieter here. You mean what? Rice for parrots? I'm talking about my supper. Today I'm gonna go get sushi. I just love it. Sushi is so good and cheap. Of course, normal bento box is cheaper. And I just like fluorescent soup. Yeah, that's what I thought. And I never thought that that can be tasty. And it was just, one of those short noodle soups in a packet. It wasn't like this Japanese invention noodles, it was just Canadian invention. And in Canada, every of these instant foods were never tasty. Well, I almost enjoyed the TV dinner thing because there was it had this little dessert in the middle, some kind of a jello or cake, brownie or something. No, fluorescent food, yeah, that yellow was, I bet artificial yellow. Unfortunately, Yeah. Oh, so nice here. Gooey chocolate. Yeah, something like that. When I came from Europe, I thought, wow, this is so cool. You can just buy a microwave and throw it in and it's done and you eat. And I also love these pizza, what they were called pizza pops, right? Like the pizza was inside the dough. It was quite good, but it was so easy to burn your mouth with it. But it could be done with, could have been, you could heat it with a microwave. The ease of things. Cool to eat. But who's gonna wait, 5-10 minutes before that thing cools? It's boiling cheese with mushrooms inside, and you are hungry. I ended up, cooking two. And then when you actually wait, you forget. They are too cold later. Ah, Torino's Pizza Puffs. Oh, I think in Canada they were called Pizza Pops. No idea why. Maybe special Canadian invention. Totino. Huh, Totino. Yeah, maybe that's different places. I was amazed at microwave oven. I have never had a microwave oven in Europe because everything was cooked. And then Canada, even the white toast and peanut butter and ham on it. Oh, that was so good. Or I learned the peanut butter jelly thing. That was so good too. Very yummy. But Japan has really cool ovens and like multi-use ovens, microwave, steam oven, grill oven, all in one. In the past few years, they've developed, I think, 30-liter ovens, but to the point that you have these menus displayed on an LCD screen. It's like pushing some buttons on iPad. But it's built in, and the oven is connected to the internet and gives you all these menus and cooking times, ingredients. I miss Canadian fresh frozen fiddlehead ferns. Wow, I don't think I ever tried that. Canada had some like Chinese, they had their own cabbages, and I never end up eating that kind of food because I didn't know how to cook it. But I loved going to the Chinese stores and buying the buns with pork, mooncakes. That was really yummy. Yeah. Here in Japan, the taste of all that is way different. It doesn't compare. It's less sweet, or there's less flavor. I can never get like this really nice mooncake that they have in Taiwan. But here in Yokohama, they have the biggest Chinatown in the world, they say, and the taste is just not the same. Yeah, Chinese cabbage. First time I ate it was in Japan, and Japanese love to pickle, like ferment it for 24 hours in the fridge. It's a pretty easy pickle to do. Ooh, cannot pass here. And also there's a pickling called nuka miso. It's a kind of like a nuka miso byproduct. Something I think coming from rice. And there are different spices in it. Of course, there's loads of bacteria, lactic acid producing bacteria, but it's got its own particular flavor, spicy, sour flavor. And you go take a carrot or cucumber, stick it into that mass, cover it in the fridge for about 12 to 24 hours, and then you cut it into little pieces and eat raw like that. Oh, that's a parrot call. It's sitting somewhere, I don't know where. Japanese have red bean paste, lima bean paste. Yeah, red bean paste. That's used for mainly desserts. I think the red beans, if you eat them with just rice, not the paste, that's celebratory meal. And the red bean paste is mixed with sugar, and different Japanese sweets are filled with it. You can have omochi filled with it, or some pastry filled with it. Very, very easy to digest and not overwhelming. Yummy, of course. Yeah, the sweets here are just simple. Lots of sugar. Yeah, in Japan, the original sweets, not so much sugar. Well, I think the sweetest things would be for tea ceremony, because the tea that you drink is very concentrated and very bitter, so you need some sweets for it. But except that, Japan was never into sweets. All the new things, the cakes, pastries, that all came pretty much recently from outside. Yokohama has the first bakery ever in Japan that still operates. It's and there are so many accounts where they opened this bakery. Everyone thought, my God, this is so good, so tasty. People ended up buying bread. Even now, sometimes people here go to Italy, Germany to learn how to bake bread and pastries. They come here and open their own restaurants. And of course, there are chains of bakeries. It's almost like going for coffee, but you buy some kind of a bread. Then Americans came after World War II. Yeah, this was way before Americans, It's like 850 something that time. Yeah, Yokohama is really, really into this, Western culture, because all the Western culture came through the port of Yokohama. Some earlier was in Nagasaki, but Nagasaki, you could only land on an island and you were not allowed to do anything else. But in Yokohama, people were given district to settle in. And they, brought wicked stuff like theaters, horse racing, laundry, telegraph, all the stuff that wasn't here. So Yokohama was the door to the real world. And the houses that got built, my gosh, they're so beautiful villas. Everyone had a Japanese house with just, dust and dirt pretty much. And oh, Myrna, welcome on Scales to the cemetery. And then, people from outside of Japan built these beautiful villas. And I think there's just around 10 or so of these villas preserved in Yokohama for all these foreign people. Japan needs people. Yeah. You're doing well. Nice to hear that. It's beautiful weather here, as you see. Very pleasant. But the cold wave is coming. I think tomorrow might be raining, so maybe if the rain comes, I might not be able to scope. So there are lots of museums in Yokohama, history, old parts of the port. The port changed there so much, You can find like the first remains of the port. which I think maybe 20 years ago they finally restored it and dug it out. It was all under, some destroyed pieces from the earthquake 100 years ago. Where am I? I'm lost. I thought I know where I am, but I'm not. I don't know. This one is bushes. Oh, I know now. Did they cut a tree here? Do you know Mishima Yukio? The writer. This is his grave here. Used to be, yeah. That's getting cold. I really, really don't like now. I used to do so many scopes in the rain, but no. Mishima Yukio. He's got all his works translated to all the languages. Hey, Medgrad. Mishima Yukio again. His grave. He was a prolific writer and also a right-winger. He was actually, like people say, he was almost crazy. Fancy grave. Yeah. He's one of the top writers. He wanted to take over Japan. He wanted to coup the government in the 70s. I don't remember exactly, 71 or something like that. This is where his career ended, as no one listened to him. He made a speech from a roof of the self-defense force buildings in, I think, Ichigaya, Tokyo. I don't think the building is there anymore. And what happened was that they laughed at him, and he committed ritual suicide, like the samurai style, with the sword, 2 swords. Still has people looking after it. Yeah, of course. His family is still alive, and his grave is famous. Right under that, someone picked up and buried it under the toilet built there. Yeah. But his books are really good. Really good. Go to the local library and borrow. I think I'm going to read more. I think I've read one of his books once. But not more, because I don't really read much. And there is a fantastic movie by what's his name, Coppola, and Philip Glass wrote the soundtrack to it. It's called Mishima in 4 seasons, or no, in 4 parts or something like that. Is suicide legal? I think so. Oh, they're building something there. I mean, suicide here in Japan was always like, from samurai point of view, it's like if you did something wrong and you take responsibility for it, yeah, people would do it. 100 years ago, there is this captain of a ship, military ship, from 100-something years ago, and he has a memorial in that area of the cemetery. And he rammed into another ship by mistake during night exercises in pitch black. And he didn't even wait to be court-martialed, because that would be so shameful, right? And he did ritual suicide too. Yukio Mishima, Gemea, good morning, good afternoon. Yeah. I mean, if you watch samurai movies, you will see the point of it. It was like, it's honorable. death. Even if you did something good, like you killed somebody, like look at the Seven Samurai. That's a good example. Where their master gets killed and then they all take revenge, but also they take the responsibility and they also commit ritual suicide. Nice day, yes, so shiny, so beautiful. It's cold wave is coming again. That cold wave will be making sounds with our jaws and teeth. Nobody read Mishima Yukio's books? I guess not. You know, in Poland we read lots of, it's a requirement at schools to have some experience with foreign literature, not just Polish. So we read lots of things like Swedish books and other things, English. Oh, this guy is famous. This guy is a more recent avant-garde, like a la Picasso, but from Japan. Actually, his whole family is here in this grave. This is Okamoto Taro. He's from the city just between Yokohama and Tokyo. Yeah, winter weather coming soon. You got it. 61. Well, yeah, you're getting the same. Ishimaeko. What would that be? If you shame your family. Yeah, I mean, you never shame your family, that's the thing. But if you are not samurai, maybe it doesn't matter. This guy is so famous. So famous. This is his mother and his father. His father was a cartoonist and his mother was a writer, I think. Kanoko. Kanoko. And Ipei Okamoto. And he studied in Europe and became avant-garde artist. He made lots of sculptures. Oh, there's a whole museum for him, not far away. Children, I don't know. I don't think he was married. I mean, people saw him like Picasso, like weirdo. No one really wanted to be friends. He did some really weird art. If you ever look at the Osaka Expo in 70s, he made the Tower of the Sun statue. It's so super weird and ugly, and they put it in the expo, but the statue has been moved to some park in Osaka these days, and it's there, and I think you can go inside of it, and also you can buy models of that. So yeah, Picasso's girlfriends are still alive, I think. And he's got plenty of children, I think, too. And one thing is that if you go to Hakone, southwest of Yokohama, Tokyo, there is an open-air museum where they have a whole building just with Picasso's works. It's at the side of volcano that's active, and it's quite impressive. You know, some little tile with a horsey drawn like a 5-year-old. That's Picasso, special tile. I don't know how they managed to buy all his works. It's just, Japan has so many foreign, like original works. I've seen Van Gogh, Monet. Gosh, I thought this is like in other countries. Humorous. Yeah, but if you ever come, they also wrote what did I want to say? There's also a first mountain train that leads you to that museum. It's on one of the stations, and the train is pictured after the Switzerland trains. I think someone got impressed by the Swiss train lines 100 years ago and decided to build this little train line mirroring that, the Swiss Alps and stuff. And there is a whole train there. You can ride the train to the museum. I mean, you have to get off at one station on the mountain, on the active volcano. And if that active volcano blows, all these museums will just vaporize. Yeah, wealthy people, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen Stradivarius violins here. I've seen like collections from like China, bronze, like thousands years ago, different artifacts. I think long time ago, people just had lots of money and they kept on collecting. Now it's in some museum here, but no one knows unless you go and see. Oh, I've seen this. Like if you ever go and see the original work, it's sometimes so like different. Like Monet has this pond with lilies, and I thought, yeah, it's gonna be like a small picture or something. And I went and saw it for the first time. It's a huge painting. Oh, that's huge. Yeah. And I think the thing is, if you buy art and you display it publicly, you don't need to pay tax for it in Japan. So I think that's how they save money. I think somewhere over there is a grave of that Russian Soviet spy, Stalin's spy actually. Stalin wanted to purge him, but Japanese caught him and hanged him. It's awesome. Yeah. Stradivarius. How many million of dollars that was? And there was some businessman who owned it. I hope he played it at least. Sometimes, lots of companies like, the makeup companies, they also have museums too because they have so much money. Department stores often have galleries at the top floors. There's always something to see. I went to so many Snoopy exhibitions, like Peanuts. Japan is obsessed with Peanuts, Moomins, and what else? Peanuts, Moomins, and Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty is pretty minor compared to Moomins and Peanuts. Disney is big. The crows are hungry probably. Yeah, crowing somewhere there. Today's sunrise was so cool, wasn't it? I thought there would be nothing, but the glow was so impressive. So Van Gogh originals in Amsterdam. Oh my gosh, yeah. Lucky you. Yeah, there's some sculptures sometimes here and there in the city or in different cities or outside of museums. Like I think the, the Tokyo Museum of Western Art has the Gates to Hell by one of those French artists. He brought the whole sculpture, and I think that museum is open for free once per month. I mean, it's free admission, but other than that, you have to pay money. Yeah, sunrise was awesome. You know, like it fills up my windows and inside the rooms, and it feels so good. It's it's like the golden hour, orange everywhere. Here we have illegal parking, or legal. You know, there's no parking around. That's free, except if you come to the cemetery, you can kind of stop your car here, and you don't get a ticket. So that's what people are doing. All right, everyone, I'm going to go. Time to roll. And yeah, tomorrow is rainy. Depending how nasty the rain will be, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. So take care, everyone. Oh, Gregory is first waving. Okay. My 20-second delay here works. So take care, Gemea and Gregory and Medgrad. Thank you for walking and see the sunrise if you haven't seen. Pretty cool. Bye for now. Scoping down.